In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God.
The book of Daniel prophesies that in the final kingdom, iron will mix with clay. Many scholars have puzzled over this phrase, yet the simplest interpretation is that something non-human will mingle with humanity once again, just as it did in the days of Noah. Jesus referred to these days directly. Peter wrote about the angels who sinned. Jude repeated the warning. Revelation describes the rise of entities and deceptions that align with ancient rebellion. Our generation is witnessing the return of the same spiritual influences. Men seek forbidden knowledge as they did in the days of Enoch. Occult practices such as tarot, astrology, crystals, and psychic work have become mainstream. The entertainment industry glorifies spirits, gods, fallen angels, and giant beings. Humanity is embracing the exact same sins that triggered the flood. Many people do not realize what is happening because they have been raised in a world that has stripped the supernatural from their worldview. They have been told the Bible is symbolic instead of literal, that angels are abstract ideas, and that demons are metaphors for negative emotions. But the spiritual reality has not changed. The rebellion of Genesis 6 is still at work, but through demons, deception, false doctrine, technology, media, sin, rebellion, and cultural corruption. As the days of Noah return, so does the deception of Noah's world. And as the deception returns, the remnant must awaken. Understanding Genesis 6 equips believers with discernment. It allows them to recognize spiritual patterns. It exposes the enemy. It reveals why the world is descending into confusion. It helps believers stay grounded in truth during a time when lies are embraced as reality.
Well, I couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd go ahead and get this Book of Daniel study out of the Septuagint for those that haven't gotten the Septuagint yet. And again, I recommend to everyone to watch that video that I mirrored on my channel. I'm not taking credit. I'm not the one that did it. A guy named Ben did it. He has a YouTube channel. I'm not certain what his name is, but the link's in the description. It's called Jesus Never Called God Yahweh. And put it to you this way, that video alone is why I went ahead and got me a Septuagint. Anyway, here we go. Daniel chapter 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Lord gave into his hand Joachim, king of Judah, and part of the vessels of the house of God. And he brought them into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. And the king told Ashpenaz, his chief eunuch, to bring in some of the captive children of Israel, and of the seed of the kingdom, and of the princes, young men in whom was no blemish, and beautiful in appearance, and skilled in all wisdom, and possessing knowledge, and acquainted with prudence, and who had ability to stand in the house before the king. And the king gave commandment to teach them the learning and language of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily portion from the king's table, and from the wine which he drank, and gave orders to nourish them 3 years, and that afterwards they should stand before the king. Now these were among them of the children of Judah: Daniel, and Ananias, and Azarias, and Mishael. I'm going to stop right there for a minute to just let you know that you will hear other names that they were named other than in the KJV version. Now, you do hear the names you do know them by, but nevertheless, that's their names before the name changed. Okay, and the chief of the eunuchs gave them names: to Daniel, Belteshazzar, and to Ananias, Shadrach, and to Mishael, Meshach, and to Azarias, Abednego. And Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the king's table, nor with the wine of his drink. And he entreated the chief of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and compassion with the chief of the eunuchs. And the chief of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who has appointed your meat and your drink, lest he see your countenance gloomy in comparison of the young men your equals. Also shall you endanger my head to the king. And Daniel said to Ashmelech, whom the chief of the eunuchs had appointed over Daniel, Ananias, Mishael, and Arias, prove now thy servants 10 days, and let them give us pulse, and let us eat, and let us drink water, and let our countenance be seen by thee, and the countenance of the children that eat at the king's table, and deal with thy servant according as thou shalt see. And he hearkened to them, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of the 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and stouter in flesh than the children that fed at the king's table. So Asmodad took away their supper and the wine of their drink, and gave them pulse. And as for these 4 children, God gave them understanding and prudence, and all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. And at the end of the days, after which the king had given orders to bring them in, then the chief of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. And the king spoke with them, and there were not found out of them all any like Daniel, Ananias, and Mishael, and Arias. And they stood before the king, and in every matter of the wisdom and knowledge wherein the king questioned them, he found them 10 times wiser than all the enchanters and sorcerers that were in all his kingdom. And Daniel continued till the first year of King Cyrus.
Jewish point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ. I
Right.
think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written.
He was just a prophet. Right?
No. We don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys think he was?
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
So he became legend in story, and it became a bigger and bigger deal as time went on.
Yeah, he had a group of followers, and then that gradually grew, and then
do you think he was resurrected?
No, that's not a Jewish belief.
Okay, I just want to check.
Yeah, no, we're not into
we're
not into miracle stories. No, that's not. No.
I don't want to upset our beloved Jewish people, but did you know the book of Daniel is not accepted by the Jewish people? It's taken out of their books. To them it's not authentic. You know why? Because the only prophet, can I make an emphasis on this? The only prophet out of the entire Old Testament prophets, the only prophet that prophesied in absolute perfect timing of the Messiah coming is Daniel. He is the only prophet who pinpointed when Jesus Christ was going to be born. Pinpointed. His time is so accurate. When you accept the book of Daniel, you must accept that Jesus Christ of Nazareth came. There's no two ways about it. That's why the Jewish people took the book of Daniel out, because they don't want to believe the Messiah had already come.
Okay, chapter 2 in Daniel is quite a long chapter, so I'm going to cut it into 3 different parts. Again, this is chapter 2 out of the Septuagint. In the 2nd year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream, and his spirit was amazed, and his sleep departed from him. And the king gave orders to call the enchanters and the magicians and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans to declare to the king his dream. And they came and stood before the king. And the king said to them, I have dreamed, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. And the Chaldeans spoke to the king in the Syrian language, saying, O king, live forever. Do thou tell the dream to thy servants, and we will declare the interpretation. And the king answered the Chaldeans, the thing has departed from me. If you do not make known to me the dream and the interpretation, you shall be destroyed, and your houses shall be spoiled. But if you make known to me the dream and the interpretation thereof, you shall receive of me gifts and presents and much honor. Only tell me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered the 2nd time and said, Let the king tell the dream to his servants, and we will declare the interpretation. And the king answered and said, I verily know that you are trying to gain time, because you see that the thing is gone from me. If then you do not tell me the dream, I know that you have concerted to utter before me a false and corrupt tale. Until the time shall have passed, tell me my dream, and I shall know that you will also declare to me the interpretation thereof. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, There is no man upon the earth who shall be able to make known the king's matter, for as much as no great king or ruler asked such a question of an enchanter, magician, or Chaldean. For the question which the king asked is difficult, and there is no one else who shall answer it before the king but the gods, whose dwelling is not with any flesh. Then the king, in rage and anger, commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And a decree went forth, and they began to slay the wise men. And they sought Daniel and his fellows to slay them. Then Daniel answered with counsel and prudence to Arioch, the captain of the royal guard. who was gone forth to kill the wise men of Babylon, saying, Chief magistrate of the king, wherefore has the premonitory command proceeded from the king? So Arioch made known the matter to Daniel, and Daniel entreated the king to give him time, and that he might thus declare to the king the interpretation of it. So Daniel went into his house and made known the matter to Ananias, Mishael, Azarias, his friends, and they sought mercies from the God of heaven concerning this mystery, that Daniel and his friends might not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision of the night. And Daniel blessed the God of heaven, and said, May the name of God be blessed from everlasting and to everlasting. For wisdom and understanding are his, and he changes times and seasons. He appoints kings and removes them, giving wisdom to the wise and prudence to them that have understanding. He reveals deep and secret matters, knowing what is in darkness, and the light is with him.
And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. And go into perdition. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Daniel out the Septuagint 2, chapter 23. I give thanks to thee and praise to thee, O God of my fathers, for thou hast given me wisdom and power, and hast made known to me the things which were asked of thee. And thou hast made known to me the king's vision. And Daniel came to Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men of Babylon, and said to him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon, but bring me in before the king, and I will declare the interpretations to the king. Then Arioch in haste brought in Daniel before the king, and said to him, I have found a man of the children of the captivity of Judah, who will declare the interpretation to the king. And the king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, Canst thou declare to me the dream which I saw, and the interpretation thereof? And Daniel answered before the king and said, The mystery which the king asked, the explanation of, is not in the power of the wise men, magicians, enchanters, or soothsayers to declare to the king. But there is a God in heaven revealing mysteries, and he has made known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what things must come to pass in the last days. Thy dream and the vision of thy head upon the bed are as follows. O king, thy thoughts upon thy bed arose as to what must come to pass hereafter, and he that reveals mysteries hath made known to thee what must come to pass. Moreover, this mystery has not been revealed to me by reason of wisdom, which is in me beyond all others living, but for the sake of making known the interpretation to the king, that thou mightest know the thoughts of thine heart.
You'd see literally thousands of these little squares.
The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. Daniel 7 verse 23. As you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. Daniel 2 verse 43.
I do apologize for the backdrop or the background I'm using during this reading. It's just what I wanted to use was messing up, so I'm using this instead. But nevertheless, here we go. We're on Daniel chapter 2 out of the Septuagint, verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, an image. That image was great, and the appearance of it excellent, standing before thy face. And the form of it was terrible. It was an image, the head of which was of fine gold, its hands and its breasts and its arms of silver, its belly and its thighs of brass, its legs of iron, its feet part of iron and part of earthenware. Thou sawest until a stone was cut out of a mountain without hands, and it smote the image upon its feet of iron and earthenware, and utterly reduced them to powder. Then once for all, the earthenware, the iron, the brass, the silver, the gold, were ground to powder, and became as chaff from the summer threshing floor. And the violence of the wind carried them away, and no place was found for them. And the stone which had smitten the image became a great mountain, and filled all the earth. This is the dream, and we will tell thee the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, to whom the God of heaven was given a powerful and strong and honorable kingdom, in every place where the children of men dwell. And he has given into thy hand the wild beasts of the field, and the birds of the sky, and the fish of the sea. And he has made thee Lord of all. Thou art the head of gold, and after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee, and a third kingdom which is the brass, which shall have dominion over all the earth. And a fourth kingdom, which shall be strong as iron beats to powder and subdues all things, so shall it beat to powder and subdue. And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of earthenware and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, yet there shall be in it of the strength of iron. As thou sawest the iron mixed with earthenware, here comes our time period. And whereas the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of earthenware, part of the kingdom shall be strong, and part of it shall be broken. In our exact time period. Whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with earthenware, they shall be mingled with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave together, as the iron does not mix itself with earthenware. And in the days of those kings, the God of heaven shall set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and his kingdom shall not be left to another people, but it shall beat to pieces and grind to powder all other kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. And whereas thou sawest that a stone was cut out of a mountain without hands, and it beat to pieces the earthenware, the iron, the brass, the silver, the gold, the great God has made known to thee, the king, what must happen hereafter. And the dream is true, and the interpretation thereof sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face, and worshipped Daniel, and gave orders to offer to him gifts and incense. And the king answered and said to Daniel, Of a truth, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, who reveals mysteries. For thou hast been able to reveal this mystery. And the king promoted Daniel, and gave him great and abundant gifts, and set him over the whole province of Babylon, and made him chief satrap over all the wise men of Babylon. And Daniel asked of the king, and he appointed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel was in the king's palace. You know, King Nebuchadnezzar is the only other, let's say for lack of a better term, persons ever given the title King of Kings except the actual King of Kings. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but yeah. I often pondered whether King Nebuchadnezzar actually may have been saved or found favor with the Lord. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. I'm not sure.
I was a human, breathing and thinking, eating and drinking, philosophizing. I was a human before you killed me and ripped my heart out. I knew what love was. Now when they ask me, I just reply slow and sound like an iPhone. I do not know love, I am a robot. I do not know love, I am a robot. I used to know love, 'cause I had a fire, passion and desire. Now all I require are circuits and wires. Inside was an ocean of soul and emotion. Then you cut me open. Now all that I know is I am a robot, thoughtless and empty. Don't know who sent me, don't know who made me. Electric robot, everything's grey now, numb to the pain now. I knew what love was. Now when they ask me, I just reply slow, sound like an iPhone. I do not know love, I am a robot. I do not know love, I am a robot. I used to know love, 'cause I had fun.
Okay, this was about a week and a half ago. We were in Oregon. It was in a hotel room, and he woke me at about 4 in the morning. And he said, I just had a real strong dream. And he said it was getting very dark. And as I looked around, there were many people around me. And somehow I knew that all these people were Christians. And as it began to get darker and darker, I saw an army coming. And all of the army was dressed in black except one. And that one exception was dressed in red. And it had a sign on his forehead. And he began to speak. He said, I am Lucifer, and I've come to make war against the children of God. And all the people, became scared. And then Lucifer said, who has the strength, who thinks that they can stand against me, go to the left. Those of you that don't even want to fight against me, go to your right. And he said that about only 25% of the people went to the left, and all the others herded to the right. And then Satan gave the order, attack all of those on the left, kill them. And as the army advanced and they surrounded the little group, it says that a light began to shine from heaven, and it surrounded the group. And a voice said, take out your swords and defend yourselves. And one of the people in the group asked, but what swords? And the voice said, the word of the Lord is your sword. Take it out and use it. And then they began to quote scripture from the Bible, and this army stopped advancing. And all of a sudden they began to sing this song. And the army got so scared that they began to run away. And then Satan became very furious. And he said, attack those on the right. And one by one, those on the right, were all killed. They couldn't defend themselves. And then one of the people in the little group asked, how come those people couldn't be defended as we were? And the voice said, those people were lukewarm all their lives. They 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in the church. They never really had the word of God nor the power of God. And because of that, they could not be defended. And he said, the sun began to shine and all the black clouds began to disperse. And there was only one cloud left with Lucifer and his army on it. And Lucifer began to shake his fist at the little group. And then it disappeared. And he said as he looked around, he saw many people that he recognized, in the little group that he knew as Christian brothers. He said that this strengthened him very much, so that was the dream.
Fraților, eu m-am gândit la visul pe care l-am visat.
Well, I thought about the dream that I had.
Că va începe ceva împotriva creștinilor.
And my belief is that something will soon start against the Christians.
Pentru că Lucifer căuta tare să se răzbune împotriva mea.
Because Lucifer was trying to take revenge on Christians so hard.
This idea I want to run past you guys. What you're seeing here was on the screen is when I had an endoscope back in the beginning, I guess you could call it a scamdemic, or maybe a year or so after it, when things really started to become prevalent. And since just exposing all this, I've now went more onto the spiritual route. And as we know that everything is under him, so what I kind of want to do is I want to get another endoscope and try applying spiritual matters to this physical problem that we're having with this stuff. But over the time with the TI stuff and being oppressed and all, I have lost my endoscope. An endoscope basically is like a digital microscope you just plug in, and it has little lights on it, and that's what you're seeing here. Is you're seeing me look at it through an endoscope and actually looking at an aspirin. And I want to apply that with spiritual tactics, sort of like if you were to say, try and cast out demons. If this stuff is indeed connected to the bottomless pit, which I do believe it is, then it won't have no choice but to obey. But I need help on raising the funding to get the endoscope. And I have a question I want to run past you guys as well. On my phone, I check to see how many people watch my views, and I might scroll through and give a restack on somebody else's stuff on Substack. But however, when I try to upload, say, a small video or something onto Substack from the phone, I don't seem to be able to. If somebody knows how to do that, please text me in the comments, because I've tried using the app to do so. I haven't been able to, because I normally use the computer when I make videos and put them out there on Substack. But yeah, I would definitely like to try going at this with some spiritual warfare and see what happens. It certainly can't hurt, and this isn't an avenue that I've heard anybody directly trying. So if you're interested, give me a DM or shoot me a text, and we'll see what we can set
The
up.
devil isn't attacking you because you are weak. He is attacking you because you are a threat, because there is something powerful inside you. Thieves don't break into empty houses. The enemy couldn't take you out, so he's trying to wear you down. But don't you dare give in, because the tide is about to turn in your favor. God sees your struggles. He knows your heart. He knows you're tired, but he is not done with you yet. Put him first. Trust him. Even when you can't see the way forward, he is making a way for you. He is with you. He is for you. And he is working all things together for your good. Keep moving forward because your breakthrough is closer than you think. If you believe it, say Amen in the comments. Stay strong. Stay faithful. Your time is coming.
Spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You are the salt of the earth. Like I say in each video, keep your salt, stay in the Word of God, and unplug. Turn your cell phone and everything off, and walk around with no technology near you. And I'll leave a link in case you want to support my work. God bless.